Hello, everybody out there tuning in. Whether you're tuning in from Facebook, Twitch, Twitter, Snap. No, man, ain't on Snapchat. I started to say Snapchat. We ain't even on Snapchat. But whether YouTube, wherever you're tuning in from, welcome back to another episode of Boss Talk with Moet. And of course, as always, you can follow me everywhere on Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, anything that's IAMMOETT. And I am your motivational queen. My mission in life is to help others bring their dreams and goals into reality by showing them how to make a shift in their mindset, teaching them how to tap in with our highest self, and holding them accountable for their personal development so that way they take consistent action towards exceeding their goals. Now, tonight I have another amazing interview with, I forgot how to pronounce her name, but we gonna go with, her name is TPrettySmiles from Real Raw Let's Talk. She's a super dope, amazing individual. We were actually talking before here, and it feels like, yo, she my sister from another mother for real. But we gonna go ahead and bring her on and let her introduce herself. Hi.
Hey, what up, world?
All right. Go ahead and let the people know who you are, what you do, how they can tap in with you, all of that good stuff.
All right, facts. Hey, y'all, it's your neighbor, your sister, your niece, your TT, and your auntie. It's your girl, T Pretty Smile, with the host of Real Raw Let's Talk. If you love to talk and, love to have those real conversations, hey, Real Raw is the place to be. So you can always listen up on TikTok, you can YouTube. We have full episodes out, and on Facebook and Instagram.
Amazing. That's amazing. So, how long have you been doing your podcast?
Actually, coming up September 21st is gonna be 2 years. Um, Thank
Congratulations.
you. It feels like it's been longer than that, honestly. But I think it's just because I have a great team behind me that we've done so much. So it feels like this been happening for a long time. But it's only been 2 years. I'm so excited too.
That is amazing. That is amazing. So, how did you get started with your podcast and how did you come up with your name?
That's funny. You're the only person to ask me that. That is so funny. um, Real Raw actually came from I actually was sitting down one day and I knew I wanted to start a podcast. I didn't know I knew what I wanted to talk about, which was everything, right? But it came from me just not talking a lot. Actually, I was diagnosed with a head condition called Chiari malformation, and it's where I actually have a speech problem, and I'll stutter, I'll choke up on words and things like that. And so when that was going on, I was just going through a lot. I just was like, I can't, depression had me down. But I ended up building up the courage to find a support group. And I went online, had the support group. You always have that family got your back, but it's nothing like having a support group that actually, can relate to you. So I had a support group, and they were awesome, and it went from there. And I was like, you know what? I know I'm not the only one feeling this way. I know somebody else got to be been through what I've been through and more, domestic violence, the whole nine. So I just knew that there was other women and other people that just wanted to relate and have somebody to relate to. So I was like, you know what? I want to be able to have these conversations. Rather it's a health condition, rather it's old generational things, just be able to talk. So I was at home one day and I was like, I want to be real, I want to talk. And it just really developed to be real raw, let's talk, and that's really how it birthed from there, just being able to bring my friends together and have conversations about so many diverse of things. And I was like, wait, why ain't nobody still talking about this? Or why we don't ask these questions, why we don't push the envelope? And my mama know me, I've always been the kid to push the envelope. I was the rebellion one. So I was like, let's have these conversations, and that's how I came with real raw, let's talk.
That is amazing. That is amazing. And it's so inspirational. Like, just the whole journey in the process and everything that you're explaining, because people being able to have that platform and that space to be able to be open and be themselves and really address those issues that nobody is not talking about mainstream a lot of times, or if they are, it's just for like clickbait or something like that. So being
Right.
able to have that platform is amazing. So I know you spoke briefly in regards to like depression and reaching out to a support group and different things like that. Can you kind of talk about like that journey, that process of actually dealing with that and overcoming that?
Yeah. So I had a support group. It was an online support group. And after I went from there, it was just being able, like I said, to relate to people. Some people had the same thing I had, and they were developing speech problems because with having Chiria, it messes with your speech. It messes with your mind. Sometimes you get headaches, severe headaches, migraines, and it was a process to even just go through that. But once I had that support group, I started venturing off more into my podcast. I had a wonderful team that is now my family. JFL Productions, B Capture, Terrell Montez, they're all Evan. I mean, it really became a family. And I love them like they my own. Like I would do anything for them because they really helped me day by day. I still develop those challenges today, you know, and they didn't know at first. They were like, what's going on? And I was able to talk to them, and they just helped me overcome that with boosting, helping my confidence, because a lot of people are surprised that I have a speech problem because I talk in front of people all the time, but I actually struggle with that. But I want other people to know that you can overcome it. You gotta keep pushing forward, and my team definitely does that for me. So I know how it feels to not have that and want that and then have it. So I just want to be there for other people.
That is amazing. That is amazing and so inspirational. So, to someone that may be going through that or dealing with a similar situation or anything of that accord, what would you tell them about like reaching out to a support system and different things like that if they don't have people that are in their corner?
Oh, most definitely. Yeah, it all started with me with a Facebook group. To be honest, it was a Facebook group called Curia Malformation, and I dip tapped into them, and I still be in there sometimes. But I have my second family, so I would tell people, it got to start somewhere. You can't mope for long. No movement. Get you no action. So you definitely want to get you a support group. I found out, hey, I couldn't do it alone, and even when you're an entrepreneur, that's something you have to learn that you can't do it alone. You got to have a team. And I just happen to have my team is my family. And I love them to death. I can't stress that enough. And they're always like, you always talking about us. But they deserve their flowers because it's some days it's a hard time working with me, you know? And they definitely be there. So my suggestion for people is just to, go out there, start with Facebook first, start with Instagram, just put in whatever's going on. There's a support for everybody, Shoot, come to Real Raw. We talk with you.
Right. That is amazing. That is super amazing. So, in regards to like building a team, different things like that, how was it with overcoming those things? How was it with building a team? Like, how did that process go?
Building a team. Actually, I started with JFL Productions, Fred. We actually used to work together. And honestly, he boosted me so much, and I thank him so much. He was like, "Hey, look, I know you got a podcast. What you doing about it?" And I was like, I'm gonna come to you. I'm gonna come to you." He's like, "Hey, I got marketing experience. I got this experience. Like, he has so much to offer." And I was like, I ain't about to start my podcast. Like, I'm gonna just chill on it. And then like one day I was like, you know what? Let me stop. Let me believe more in myself because he was believing more in me than I was believing in myself. And I got with him, and literally the sky is beyond the limit with him. And we actually were joined in with Terrell. I met him from a Boss Magazine to Felicia event, and he joined right in, fit right in with us. But it's all about being yourself, Be Captured came right on in with us. It was like we were the hand, and everybody had their own individual part they had to play. So each part is a finger, but together we form a fist, we form a hand, and that's how we operate. and I just love them to death.
That is amazing. So I know that you said that you were at a space where you were like, "Oh, well, I'm gonna do it later," and different things like that. What was the point that you just decided to like? How did you come up with that decision? That was just like, you know what, enough is enough. I'm just about to get up and make it happen.
Honestly, I lost my dad. Um, I had lost my dad, both of my dads. I had my stepdad and my biological father. And when I lost my stepfather 3 years ago, that was a hit for me. And I knew that he wouldn't want me to just mope. He wouldn't want me to, not do anything. He would want me to do something. And I knew just coming from a background where I had been in a domestic violence relationship. And I'm gonna be honest, I want to show out. I want to be like, look, I'm gonna make you look back at me for what? You know what I'm saying? So I had to give myself that push in the darkest times, and I'm glad I did. It took a lot out of me, to be honest, because going through grief is hard. Going through grief is hard, and it's not even grief of losing a person, but it's also the grief of losing your old self. It's a grief of losing, what could have been and didn't happen, so it's a lot of grief that you go through in life. And that really held me back for a while. But like I said, I knew that I had, good parents, and I knew my father would want more. And I knew I wanted the person that I was in domestic violence with, I wanted them to be like, dang, like, to know they missed out on something. You know how they say you want their revenge? That was my revenge. To be better than what I was.
Wow, that is amazing. Now,
Yeah.
I know you spoke on the grief of like letting go of your old self. A lot of times people hold on so much to the fact of how they used to be, or they hold on to grudges, or they hold on to different stuff whenever they honestly should just let that stuff go. Do you have any advice for anybody that needs to let something go, or how that process could work for them?
Girl, to be honest, no. And you know why? Because it's hard. It's hard. I'm still working through it. I'm still working through forgiveness. That everybody say, it's easier. Just let that person go. It's not the person, it's letting go of the forgiveness. The trauma. It's hard. You hover over that. So I don't have any advice for someone because I'm still, evolving myself on a daily, which is why I have these conversations, on Real Raw, because it's for everybody. I know it's somebody out there, it's a plenty of people out there, who are having hard times overcoming things or overcoming forgiveness. That's a tough one. The only thing I can say, is get you some support. I was just talking to Rachel over at What's Up Dallas Magazine, who we bonded. Oh my gosh, I was like she was heaven sent. We bonded, and just to be able to talk to another woman who's been in the same situation and be able to look over and say, how I need help with this. Sometimes you do have to reach out. I never thought I would be that person to reach out, and I thought I was going to just be to myself, but I love that I have a support system that reaches out now abundantly. So I definitely, again, just back to the basics of getting you a support system. Be okay to not be okay.
Right. That is amazing. That's real. Because I know a lot of people, especially whenever it comes to black women, we're so used to having to be strong, especially if you're
Mhm.
the oldest in your family or something like that. Then you always gotta know I'm the one that ain't supposed to cry. I'm the one that's supposed to have it all together
Right.
and all of that stuff. So I commend you on that journey and that process. Like we're all still work in progresses, and
Mhm.
we just got to take it a day, a moment at a time. So I definitely appreciate you for still having that platform to for people to be able to come and talk. Now, let's talk a little bit about in regards to like the domestic violence situation. We don't have to get deep into detail in regards to it, but let's just talk about the fact of how it was whenever you decided that enough was enough. Because I've been in a domestic violence situation as well. And before
Mhm.
that situation, I never understood how women were like, oh, not leaving, just continuously going through the cycle and different things like that. I was just like, well, why don't I just leave? Then I was in the situation. I was like, Oh, I
This
get
is why.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
let's talk a little bit about that. Like, how was that situation, and when did you get to the point of just being able to really walk away from that situation?
Nah, I'm glad you said that because that's something that a lot of people overlook, and they always think that, oh, why won't they just get themselves out the situation, or why just say no, just move, just leave. It's not like that. A lot of people think that you stay because of love. That wasn't the case for me, and I don't think that's the case for a lot of women. I think it be the fact that you don't want to make the situation worse. I know that's how it was for me. I was scared to move. I was scared that if I left, then it's not gonna be just drama to me. It's gonna be to my family. I'm gonna end up worse than what I was. So that was my case, and I think that's the case for a lot of women. But going through that, yeah, that was a really tough time, a really tough time. What made me leave was having my daughter. I did not want my daughter to experience what I was going through. I didn't want her to see what I saw, or even next thing you know, she getting hit on. I didn't want none of that for her. um and Lord knows she's 8 going on 15 right now, but yeah, I didn't want her to witness none of that. So that was when I found out. I didn't even leave right when I was pregnant. I left like months down the line, but it took me to the point where, okay, she's about to be in this world and I need to move around. Like I can't let her see none of this.
That's amazing. And that's real because even some women, it's really still hard for them, still, even with having kids and different things like that. So that is good. And I definitely commend you for being able to walk away from that situation and
You
being able
too,
to
boo.
rise above that. So definitely. Now, let's switch lanes a little bit. Let's talk about some things that you have going on. Do you have any upcoming projects that you're excited about? Different things like that?
Yes, yes. A lot going on. A lot going on. But no, so on October the 14th, we have a domestic violence and breast cancer event. That flyer be posted. If y'all go look on Real Raw page on Facebook, it's on there as well. We're gonna be covering red carpet for Tyrone Better's per 30. That's gonna be an event I can't wait for. He was one of the guest appearance on the show as well. We always have stuff going on. I can't even fathom. I know I'm missing something. Hype Girl event on the 24th. It's just a lot. It's always a nonstop thing, but I love it. I love what I do. I wouldn't regret it. I don't change nothing, not even the path that got me here. I strongly believe you're a testimony for somebody else. People quick to say God don't give you more than you can bear. I feel different. I feel like he's gonna give you more than you can bear, because you got to be a testimony for somebody else. And if he keep giving you the same old, then how you gonna elevate? How you gonna go to the next level? So, I definitely feel that.
That's real. That is amazing. So, what is like a collaboration or a project that you are most excited about to have been a part of?
Oh, that's big. um. Oh, we've done a lot. I would have to say my best thing was covering red carpet for the Fashion Week um by Cocky Kids. They're a clothing brand, and it was for domestic. It was not domestic. It's for disability kids with disabilities, and adults. That was so nice to be a part of, and to be in that room. Oh my God, it was powerful. It was powerful because you got to see where people don't normally shed light on disability kids or adults, and they got to shine their light. They found, it's about time that somebody made it noticed. Because it was definitely needed to be. They were amazing to work with and talk with. They make you feel like your problems ain't nothing. You know what I mean? They're able to get up. They actors, models, the whole nine. And I mean, it was such a pleasure just to be in a room with them.
Wow, that is amazing. And there are a lot of things that people don't shed light on sometimes. So, definitely shouts out to them for doing that.
Yeah.
So,
Cocky kid, shout out. Yeah.
right, shouts out to them. So, let's talk a little bit about because you have a podcast with a purpose. You have a testimony. You have things that you're helping people to be able to grow and work through and still be able to have open space to talk about things. Let's talk about how that feeling is as far as like helping people. How does it make you feel whenever you're working with someone and you see them like evolve and grow and you just see that process?
Girl, it's the most rewarding thing. Honestly, it clarifies me to know that like I'm doing the right thing. I'm in my lane. I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. And it feels so good. It's I've always been the person to help people. Like I was the girl that was passing out popsicles to kids all in the neighborhood and my mom looking at me like, now look. Like but they wanted one. That was me. So I've always had a heart from helping the homeless to I mean doing so much. I love it. It's a joy. So just to be able to be amongst the people that I have had on the show and will have on the show, it's definitely it's like winning a prize every day because they not only just have those conversations with me, they actually go back and continue to have those conversations with someone else, which is what I want. So it's rewarding it is most. I love it. um just to be able to spread love and joy to other people and to have those phone calls come back and say, yo, thank you so much. Like, I just need a platform and oh, I couldn't believe we talked about that and you keep it real. Like, I love that. Just to be able to be myself and to see other people be themselves when people normally are not themselves. So I love it. I love it.
That is amazing. And I know sometimes on social media and everything, it's like, dang, everybody got to be so polished up and everything got to be so all
Mhm.
together and everything. It's like, so draining sometimes. But so,
Facts. That's real.
in regards to that, like, what type of advice would you give somebody that is thinking about starting a podcast, that is thinking about doing something, but they are afraid to show up as their real self? What kind of advice would you give them?
Ooh, okay. So definitely get do what puts you in your mood. Like before I even get on to a podcast, I definitely drive up music blasting, like I got my jam on, I'm listening to Skrill, I'm listening to everybody, cuz I literally have to be in a zone. Because I just want that energy. I want to make sure that everybody got smiles. We good. Like that's me. So I definitely would suggest whatever that does. If that's talking to somebody, if that's playing a guitar, whatever you gotta do to get yourself in the zone, like definitely do that. It helps. Another thing I would say is recheck with yourself. If you want to start, know why you want to start, why you want a podcast, and stick with your gut. I have had a host when I first started, or I've had people that try to change the lane of things the way I do things. And I'm glad I didn't change. I stuck with my gut. So I definitely suggest that know the why you want to do a podcast and stick with it. Don't change, no matter what you think somebody else is like yours. No matter no matter what you're going through, keep the why. Sometimes I have to have JFL, I have to have Fred sometimes to check me. And I love that he checks me without me asking sometimes. He'll be like, yo, so this podcast got this going on. Have you checked them out? They got this. And I'm like, I don't want to know all that. I'm jealous. I'm jealous. And he's like, but it's gonna help you. And literally at the end of the day, I'm calling him back and be like, yo, I got an idea. And he's like, see, I told you. So it's you gotta take motivation. You gotta take criticism. Stick with your why and stick with your gut.
That is amazing. Now, I know whenever you're like deciding that you want to do something, right? Sometimes, like, there's so much going on. Somebody is always trying to sell you on an idea, sell you on something, and stuff like that. So, how is that process, or what type of advice would you give someone whenever it comes to just like you said, standing on what it is that you want, knowing your why, different things like that, so that if somebody else comes and the idea sounds super dope and it's like, but you ain't even, you get caught up in the emotions, how, what kind of advice would you give somebody for that?
Ooh, if I could tell them to get them a friend, I would. Cause honestly, I'm not even gonna lie to you, girl. I literally call him all the time. Soon as I hear something, Fred, so this is going on, and this he's like, okay, what you think? I don't think about this. Like he really talk it out, and then I'm like, all right, you right, you right, you right. So, um, I would definitely tell them to stick to your gut still, but everybody ain't meant for everybody. Yeah, I will say that. Every event ain't meant for you. Every person ain't meant for you. Everybody in your circle, just keep them in your circle. You know what I'm saying? Like you can't work with everything that comes your way. I had to learn that. But being a person that helps everybody, sometimes that's your weakest thing about yourself. Is helping everybody. Cause who puts you first? You supposed to put yourself first. So sometimes that is hard. But in doing that, I had to sit back a lot of times and be like, that ain't gonna work for me. Like I can't do that. I don't want to do that. And I had to learn it's okay to say no. And it's business. I had to get out of the mind frame of, okay, I know them, I like them, we friends. But at the end of the day, you have to separate friendship and business. And I definitely had to learn that. So that's something that you definitely have to keep in mind.
Wow, that is amazing. Now, whenever it comes to like saying no and kind of like setting boundaries, different things like that, like how did you how did you get through that process to be able to be comfortable with saying no and everything? Because I know me personally, like I'm currently in therapy, and that's what my therapist be talking about. It's okay, it's all right. You can
Okay,
say
it's
no.
all right.
You don't gotta go along with whatever. So how was that process to getting comfortable with saying no and setting your boundaries? And what type of advice would you give someone else?
I still get uncomfortable saying no. I'm not even gonna be honest. I do, but I do have a team that checks me, and they be like, "Look at here." But it took me to learn my worth, girl. To be honest, I had to learn my worth, and it sounds cheesy, but that's keeping it real and that's keeping it raw. Because I honestly used to be, like I said, want to help everybody, want to do everything, want to be superhero, you know. But I had to learn that okay, I'm offering this, and this, and they ain't even meet me halfway. So I had to learn that I'm worth more than that. I'm worth more than that. At the end of the day, I have to pay this, and this. So what am I getting? Or I have to do this, and this. How's this gonna go both ways? Um uh like I always tell everybody, I say this so much, a friendship, a marriageship, relationship, situationship. Like, hey, it all has to. Everyone's supposed to pour into you. If you're not pouring back, what's going on? It's they in your circle for no reason.
Yeah.
So you want to make sure that you're pouring. Someone's pouring into you as you're pouring into them, because otherwise they just sucking you dry out of what you got to pour. You're gonna be left with nothing to pour into yourself. So you definitely have to learn your worth. That's something I still struggle with though. And I'm keeping it real with y'all. I do. Because I want to help. And I want to be able to say yes, oh yeah, I'm gonna do this. But then I sit back and I regroup. You know, sometimes I take it to the team and I be like, y'all, they want to do this, and this, and I be excited. Girl, they be like, no, you worth more than that. Try it again. So it's something I do struggle with, but I'm learning more now than I did in the beginning. In the beginning, I was, yeah, let's do this, let's do that. I'm so excited, I'm pumped. But now it's like, yeah, that's not for me.
That's
Everything
amazing.
meant for you ain't meant for you.
Right. And that is amazing. And it's definitely a process. Like
Hmm.
you said, it's definitely a process. And it's like, it ain't no one and done thing. It's a every situation thing where it's like, hold on, give me a moment.
Yeah.
Give me a hot moment. I get back to you because then you gotta really process it and everything. So I definitely understand that. And I can say that's something that I'm still dealing with as well and everything. I know oftentimes people see us on social media. They see us doing these big things. They see us doing all of this stuff and then they feel like there's no way that they could be dealing with whatever. But it's like, no, we're human. We
Human,
are
exactly.
like we are actually people out here that are trying to
Okay,
do
for
things.
real. We got rent, you got rent.
Right, exactly. Exactly. So let's talk about Networking. Let's talk about networking. How has
Mhm.
it been for you in your journey as far as networking, and what type of advice would you give to someone else?
Girl, networking is key. Like I ain't never networked like this before in my life. Like I would strongly tell somebody, hey, going to the club is not it. Networking, you know what I'm talking about? Like I was sharing this to somebody the other day because it was like, oh yeah, you want to go out, you want to do it. I'm like, girl, no. Like my consist of going out is going to a networking event. That's me going out. Like, so it definitely changes the scope, it changes the element, it changes the people that surround you, it changes the people who pour into you. I definitely have changed my circle a lot. Just from networking. And it benefits long run, it does. I'm able to go back from networking with these people to have them on the show. Networking and get yourself out there, get your notice, get what you stand for out there. You want people to know at the end of the day. So that's what you do. Get out there. Now, sometimes I'm not gonna lie, it gets hard. Cause I do get in a room where I don't value myself as I should. And I go in there like I got this speech problem. I'm about to go in there and stutter. I'm about to be in there. They're gonna look at me like, what's she trying to say? Like, oh my goodness, girl. But I had to learn that. I have to learn that it's okay. Just this what you here for. You got something to offer, just like they got something to offer. And that's what I keep telling myself before I go into a room. You got something to offer? They got something to offer. Let's go. Like I
Amazing.
had to learn that. Yeah.
That is amazing. And that is something that is definitely key, because I know sometimes, like, especially whenever it comes to networking and whenever it comes to building your business in general, everyone
Mhm.
always talks about you got to get comfortable with being uncomfortable. Like,
Very much so.
sometimes being in rooms where it's like, oh my gosh, all of these people feel like you overdressed or underdressed. And it's like, hi. Like,
Yeah, that was girl. That is me. That is me. I would get in the room and be so hyped before I get there. Like, yeah, I'm about to go network. I'm about to girl, get out the car and be like, hi, how are you? How are you doing?
right, right. Like, what happened? What happened?
What just happened? Yes, girl. I had a whole episode. I went to Houston a couple weekends ago, for an event, and luckily my team was with me. Girl, it was a whole all number real estate people. We were going for a seminar and to do like footage, photography work and things. So we're in there, and it was like, all right, y'all, break. We're ready to network. Girl got in that room and was sitting there twiddling my fingers like, oh my goodness. I was like, they made six figures. I'm not even in a three figure. What's going on? Like, I didn't think I had nothing to offer. But my team girl got in the car and it was like, what was going on? What was going on? And they got me together. So we went the second day, girl, and I was talking, chopping it up, back to me. Sometimes you do have to regroup with yourself or your team so pull yourself through it. Talk yourself through.
That's amazing. And that is something, like, with my sisterhood investment group, the owner, the founder, Altovia, that's something that she's real big on. The fact of your circle matters. Your circle matters. And
Mhm.
she is a person that helped me realize exactly how much I have to offer. Cause I used to be like, well, I ain't really doing too much. I just got this and this and this and this and this and this. She was like, girl, what are you talking about? That you ain't got much. You got a whole lot going on. Like, and then I had to sit back
Yeah.
and think, like, yeah, I do got a whole lot going on.
That's how we gotta be, like for real. I
That's
love that for you.
amazing. Yes. So, in regards to that, like, what is a piece of advice that you would give to someone who may feel like, man, I only got a couple of things going on, or I'm not even making big splashes or anything like that? What type of advice would you give to them?
Oh, girl. To tell them, it's okay. We all had to start somewhere. Somewhere. I literally started in my home. When I first started podcasting, it was my home. I had no mics. I didn't have nothing. We were just sitting on some couches and the phone was rolling. You hear me? We had nothing. So you have to start somewhere. I'm not saying that I've like boosted up or nothing, but I mean, I'm far from where I was then. And it's only been 2 years. So you never know who's listening. You never know who's just vibing with you. You never know like who's looking at you. So start it. Start if you want to start a podcast, start it. If you want to do whatever it is you want to do, you got to start somewhere. Nobody takes off, because I used to look at that, look at my review. I would always do that. Like, dang, they got all these followers, or dang, they got all these videos, and ooh, they sound crisp, But I had to realize, like, hey, it's gonna come in time. It's gonna come in time. Just keep going, and it will get bigger and bigger. But we all have to start. That's the thing, somewhere, and you just at least have to start.
Right. You just gotta get started. I know Les Brown says that you don't have to. What did he say? That you don't have to be great to get started, but you got to get started to be great. So you just
I
gotta
like
start
that.
somewhere, because oftentimes we hang ourselves up on the fact of, oh, I don't have all of this together, or oh, I don't. I wish it was like this, or I wish it was like that, and it's just like, bro, just do it.
Girl, who you
Just
telling?
make it happen.
Just do it. Like I would have never thought, and I do this a lot to myself just to look at my growth. And it keeps me humble. I had when I started, I would have never thought that I worked with the people I've worked with, from being, to be actors to being behind red carpets. Fact, I've never foresaw none of the stuff that I've been through and able to accomplish. Never would have thought that. Not 2 years ago, not 3 years ago, not 5 years ago. So not even 6 months ago. So, and I continue to grow. And that's the thing, you're gonna continue to grow. As long as you keep those circle of people around you who are pouring into you and you pouring into them. Sometimes I wasn't able to pour nothing, but I had a whole team that was pouring into me. So now I'm able to pour into someone. So it's all about being that, and continuing to strive and know that, like you said, you got to start. You got to start to be great, at least. Just start.
Right, right. You at least got to start from somewhere. So, to somebody that is like thinking about starting a podcast, they're not sure, different things like that, what is something that you would tell them?
I would tell them, get on your camera, get on your phone, and start there. Start just recording yourself with topics. You can get a couple of friends together when y'all hanging out, when y'all driving. Just put your recording on and just start recording and just start talking. See where it goes. I mean, those to me be the most best conversations. I mean, try it out amongst your friends. That's what they're there for, to help you succeed
Right.
in what you want to do and help you figure out things. That's what I did. I had all my friends. We was at a birthday party. I was like, "Yo, I want to start podcasting. Let's see how this go. Everybody, let's go to the living room. I want to talk about this." And it went on for literally 3 hours. And
Wow.
that's how I knew. I was like, you know what? I'm on to something.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would say at least start, and just try it amongst yourself and amongst your friends, amongst your family, before you just dive out, because you may not get those results that you want when you first start. And it's okay. I didn't get it when I first started. Looking back now, it's good. It's good. Like, it's wisdom for me. It showed me a lot. But I'm glad that I had my friends to be there to be able to start. So I would tell anybody just start recording. It don't take nothing. You take photos all day long. Just
Right.
start recording.
That is amazing. So, let's see. Whenever it comes to your journey, what's one of the most like iconic things that you've had to overcome, and that you've had to really like pep talk yourself to be like, come on, we got this. We can make it. We can overcome this. Like, what is one of those moments?
Ooh. The moment mm, that I had to overcome was, honestly, is going to be this event on October the 14th. To be honest with you, I'm gonna be all the way trill with you. Because I haven't done a public speaking event, and this time I'm actually going to be a public speaker and speak on my domestic violence, which I've never done before neither. So this event is really gonna open me up to another realm of things, and I'm really just trying to, like, I've even tried to cop myself out of it a few times. So like, I'm not ready for this. But at the end of the day, God give us, like I said, testimonies to pour into somebody else, and I feel like it's somebody need to hear it. Obviously, so and I'm just really just pouring myself to pour into somebody else, because that's what, and I have to remember that that's what my podcast stands for, being real and being raw. So I gotta go out there and be real and be raw, because I know it's other people out there that feels the same, that are not speaking about domestic violence, or may even just have a speech problem like I do, and don't want to feel like that's holding them back. So I definitely want to be that for other people. So if I can do that, I'm accomplished. It's my journey is accomplished. I'm done.
That's amazing. Well, you are going to do great. You're going to do amazing.
Thanks, boo.
Shoot, you've been talking. I ain't experienced none of that speech stuff that you talking about. So you have been being amazing, and you're gonna do great. You're gonna do great on that, and that
Appreciate it.
that makes me think of Shonda Rhimes, her Year of Yes, her book. And she speaks on how she used to be turning down interviews, going on stuff, public speaking and different stuff like that, and how she overcame that. And it's just going to be amazing seeing you do those things and overcome those things. Then you're going to be able to look back and be like, you know what? I did that.
Right.
So, yes.
Look, that's what I'm looking for. That's what I'm hoping now. No.
Yes, yes, it's gonna be amazing. It's gonna be amazing. You're gonna be great.
Appreciate it.
So let's talk about your link. Tell everybody about this link. Tell everybody what you want them to do, how you want them to tap in with you, different things like that.
Facts. All right, guys. So you can either hover over the barcode there, or you can click on the link. It's gonna take y'all to Real Raw Let's Talk podcast on YouTube. Okay, you can actually just put in Real Raw Let's Talk, and you'll see, bam, it's already up, and you're gonna see that you'll have all the videos that we've uploaded, all the different shows. You'll see many different appearances. Also, go to Instagram. You can put in T Pretty Smile. I'll come up, or Real Raw Let's Talk. I'm there. Also on Facebook, Real Raw Let's Talk. We're about to be on Spotify soon, so we can get some listeners in. But there's all different ways you can get into Real Raw Let's Talk. Find us. If you want to be able to get on the show, DM me. You can DM me at Real Raw Let's Talk at gmail.com. And we'll get you on and we can talk more.
Amazing. So one last question. If you could go back and talk to your younger self before all of the podcasts, before everything, what is something that you would say to you?
Ooh, I would tell my younger self, um, it's okay to not be okay. It's okay not to be okay. I used to always think I had to be okay. I had to smile in front of everyone. I had to seem like I was all right. And I think that was just in I think that's natural in our culture. To be okay, to act like we okay. I'm good, everything's fine. But know that I don't have to be okay, and I'm normal. I'm fine. And that I'm gonna be okay. You're gonna go through some things, but you're gonna overcome them. I definitely would tell myself don't hold nothing back. I know that was a lot, but I definitely would tell my younger self a lot of things. A lot of things. But I definitely would stick with it's okay not to be okay.
Amazing. That is amazing. So, one more time, let the people know who you are, what you do, how they can tap in with you, where they can follow you at, all of that good stuff.
All right, y'all. It's your girl, your TT, your niece, T Pretty Smile. I want to make sure y'all tune in on Real Raw Let's Talk. That's on Facebook, on Instagram. We are the home at A-List Studios. And we got JFL in production and B Capture Photos along with Terrell Montez, where you get the full Real Raw experience. So definitely tune in to us on YouTube, Real Raw Let's Talk. And also, you can DM me to be a guest on the show or appearances and all at realrawletstalk@gmail.com.
Amazing. That is amazing. Y'all make sure y'all go and tap in with her. TPrettySmiles. Real
Absolutely.
raw, let's talk. She's a super dope, amazing individual. As you can see, she is completely down to earth, and there's like
Right.
whatever you want to talk about, she is willing to talk about within reason. Now, don't get too crazy, but
Cause you know they'll take it there.
for
You
real,
know
they'll be like, "Yo, well, you said whatever." Like, no, hold on. We got families that we are serving out here.
that part. That
That
part.
is definitely amazing. Thank you so much for coming through the show. All of that good stuff. As we wrap up, if you could stay on for a couple minutes after I end this, then I'll just let you know the next steps, everything like that. Definitely, everybody, make sure that you tap in with her. Super dope individual, super amazing. As you know, anybody that I bring on here has something going on, so you need to tap in with them for real,
Tap, tap,
because
tap.
you better tap in with them while you can, because once the sky keep on going and we keep
Okay.
on elevated, then it's gonna be like you gonna be outside the club, can't get in. So
Okay.
so definitely thank you guys for tuning in. I appreciate each and every one of you guys. As you know, I'm here each and every Wednesday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. Boss Talk with Moet. If anybody would like to come on the show, definitely DM me. I have like 3 or 4 slots that are still open for 2023. So definitely you want to make sure that you get in with that. And thank you guys. I'll see you next week.
Boss talk.